Hello, the European Week of Regions and Cities will take place very soon. And as it is its 20th anniversary, I have with me some guests today to talk about the cohesion policy, but also about the digital and the environmental transition. And with what's happening in Ukraine, we're also going to talk about the refugee crisis and how to be more energy self-sufficient. I have with me Hortense, Lutz-Hermellin. Thank you for being here today. You are the aide of Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes Brussels office. And then today with me is also Zdeněk Hřib. I'm trying to say your name right. And you are the mayor of Prague. Thank you for being here today. So maybe I'm going to start with you. Your region has been with us since the very beginning. So I was wondering, why do you think this week is important?
Yes, Prague has been a supporter of the EU Regions Week from the very beginning, and of course it's the same this year. I believe it's a good opportunity not just for capacity building, but also for the exchange of the examples of best practices. So I think it's a very good idea and it should continue on.
And so you are talking about best practices. Do you think of a few?
Well, for example, I believe that from Prague we could share the best practice examples, for example, in public transport, because the public transport has been evaluated as one of the 5 best in the world in Prague. So I believe there is an experience that we could share, and of course we would like to put it into an even better level with a green transition. So that is something that we could share.
And is it the same for you? How do you see the usefulness of this week?
Yeah, I totally agree with the idea of sharing best practices, and I would say it's a way to give a regional and local perspective to EU challenges. And it's interesting because Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, we have been also participating from the beginning, and we really see that the topic have also changed. So we talked a lot about territorial development, cohesion policy, and more new topics are coming, like digital transition, or energy, or industry topic. And I think it really shows that the role of a region and city have changed also, and it's becoming more and more an important level in the multi-governance system at European level. So yeah, definitely a great opportunity for us to contribute each year. And this year again, we'll talk about hydrogen for this edition.
And why is it important for your region?
Oh, it's an important way to decarbonize industry and mobility, as it was mentioned just before. So we will share practices, especially on skills. So how we can help a company to find the right profile to change also and contribute to this energy transition.
And so to go back maybe to the cohesion policy with you, how has it affected maybe your region?
Well, the cohesion policy is of course a vital part, a vital mechanism for united such a heterogeneous body as the European Union indeed is. And I really hope for the successful implementation of the goals in the cohesion policy 2021 to 2027, because there is one very, very important goal. I've got it right here. It's a greater empowerment of local, urban and territorial authorities in the management of the funds. And this is something that we are really looking forward to, because cities and regions are crucial stakeholders in implementing most of the EU priorities, but we need direct access to the funds. So this is something what is very, very important for us. Of course, we were mentioning here that green transition. The cities are, of course, huge producers of the emissions, but we also have a capacity to build the innovations and to actually do something with the situation. So therefore, I believe that cities should not be left out, and the same with regions.
And then for you, is there maybe a goal that's more important or you want to focus more on?
Yeah, I mean, cohesion policy is definitely very important for our territories, and I would say also for a region as Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, we are a quite competitive and developed region, but still cohesion policy is playing a key role because it helps us to, to face transition. We talk about green transition, but also digital transition, technological transition, social. So in our case, cohesion policy is really supporting research, innovation, energy project, and I would say also trying to help with territorial disparities, so to reduce territorial disparities. So as I mentioned, Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes is very, it's an innovative and a region with a very dense economic and academic ecosystem, but at the same time we have a very rural or mountain area, and cohesion policy can help, like for example, to bring public services back to this area.
There is, of course, one more thing maybe that is worth mentioning, and that is the situation with the Russian invasion in Ukraine, which of course is a huge challenge of those days. And this is from two perspectives. For example, in Prague, the huge challenge is the actual amount of refugees in the Prague metropolitan area.
Do you know how many?
It's more than 100,000 of people who came to Prague metropolitan area, and this is something that we have to deal with. Of course, we need somewhere the people needs to live. Those are mainly women with children and senior people. So this is another challenge that we need to address also with the funds. And one more thing is the energy self-sufficiency, which is also closely linked to this Russian invasion to Ukraine. And that means that we need to invest more into the green transition to make the cities more self-sufficient in the energy level and be more independent on the energy source of the fossil fuels from Russia.
And are there already measures that your city has taken?
Yes, in the year 2019 we have adopted the climate pledge to reduce the CO emissions by 45% by 2030 in compare with the levels of 2010. And last year we have adopted the climate plan, and this is 69 specific measures how to get to fulfill this plan in 2030. And those measures come basically from four main areas. That is the sustainable transport, the sustainable energy and buildings, circular economy, and adaptation. That means focus on greenery and the water elements in the city. So, for example, we have promised to plant 1 million trees in 8 years in Prague, and we are now right in the middle, so everything is according to the plan. But this is a huge challenge for our city, and I believe it's pretty much the same also in other regions.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we really see that we share the same challenges, and it's also something that where cohesion policy can help, because you have also in cohesion policy the so-called European Territorial Cooperation Program, Interreg program. And I think it's really where you can see European added value, because you can support transborder or transnational project where you share the same challenges. And in our case, we have program with Italy, for example, and we try to find common solution for common challenges in a mountain area, and it's something very important also.
And
I would say.
Have you already found maybe some solutions with the help of?
Yeah, we have on the Franco-Italian program, we have, for example, working on the renovation of building with sustainable energy, and so really trying to identify common challenges and find a solution with stakeholders.
And then maybe to stay on the topic of challenges, maybe to continue with you, Hortense, what are the challenges that you foresee for the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region?
Maybe talking more about management of an implementation of cohesion policy, I would say one of the challenges is nothing new, but it's still a big challenge, is simplification. So how to make it simple for the stakeholders to apply to this funding, and something we are working on. And I would say also there are a lot of different initiatives and tools at European level, like for example also the recovery plan and a new initiative, and I would say kind of a challenge for us to see how we can better coordinate all these tools and make it simple for small project leader, like very small community or very small city that want to apply to this funding, and it's not easy for them. So it's really a role we are trying to play to make it simple and also better communicate on what Europe is doing at local level through cohesion policy, for example.
And then in your regions, are you facing the same problems, or do you see maybe others?
Well, of course, there are specifics in our region. I have already mentioned energy self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
I've mentioned the refugee crisis, which is a huge topic nowadays in Prague, because, of course, we do not just want to provide those people a safe shelter. We want to allow them to realize their full potential to live meaningful life and fulfilling life, because I believe that that will be beneficial for all of us. The next thing is there is a reconstruction of the cities in Ukraine, because obviously the people will need to return somewhere because their houses have been bombed and shelled. And I believe there is one more very important thing for the future, and that is that the cities must remain the strongholds of democracy, liberal values, freedom, and human rights. Because when you look at certain regions, it is, of course, I think it's not just a matter of Eastern Europe, actually, if you look around. I do not want to point finger in one's direction, but I think it's a more general problem than it seems to be. And I believe that if you look at how these authoritarian regimes start, you always see that it starts with defunding the cities and regions, with actually attacking the autonomous bodies, the self-governing bodies, being a university self-governing body or regional self-governing body.
Hortense, is there something you would like maybe to add? I was wondering if your region also has been maybe impacted by Ukrainian refugees.
Yeah, of course. I think not as much, of course, as our colleagues, but we are trying to help, for example, Ukrainian students and refugees. They only stay a while in our region, then they go in other region, of course, and we are trying to collaborate with our partner region in Poland. It's Malopolska, and helping them because they are closer to the border and to the refugees. So we are also trying to cooperate with our region, partner region in Poland, to see how we can help.
Well, I think we had a good discussion here. I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add. No? Well, then I want to thank you, Zdeněk, and thank you, Hortense, for being here with me today. I also want to thank you for watching. Goodbye.